Greetings, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. Daddy Apocalypse, Big Apoc, as so many people like to call him, or maybe some people, maybe almost nobody now. I don't know who says it. He is one of those champions that for the longest time wasn't just near the top of his class, but was the gold standard of his class. And even though he is still technically number one in the list I have had my subscribers vote on for best mutant champion, he has had moments where he has almost flipped his status and been taken over by Kitty Pryde, been taken over by Archangel. There are even people who think that Red Mags is better, Omega Red is better. I had somebody argue Domino is better. Now, obviously, he makes mutants better, so there's the synergy component to it. The Horseman or Horsewoman, aka component to it, and also just his raw skills and abilities and unique utility. Problem is, when he is bugged, when he is, shall we say, not working as intended, as Kabam likes to say, it can be a huge problem. And I have heard several reports from several summoners since the new content hit and the new patch was dropped that their Apocalypse is broken in multiple ways. So what I'm going to do now is jump to a couple of the visual evidence of this thesis, this hypothesis, this argument. You can see some gauntlet fights, which several of you, including myself, have been able. Now I'm guessing I used a lot more revives than you did, but have been able to get the gauntlet down again. The rewards aren't great compared to where they were even 6 months ago. But the 6 stones, to me, are kind of the best part, the 50 generics. That's the number one reason why I wanted it to be completed again. And I guess I had expiring revives and potions that if I didn't use them, I would lose them. So might as well jump back into the gauntlet. I don't want to ever do it again unless the rewards are better, but it is what it is. So here you can see Apocalypse is being knocked out by Korg in the gauntlet. Now that's not in itself surprising. I mean, that can happen, right? But you'll notice that in terms of the evade mechanic, in terms of the immunities, he's not reacting to the fight how he did the last time this matchup happened in the game in the gauntlet. And that's presenting a huge problem. And I want to shout out the summoner who sent me all these photos, PC Dog 63. He not only sent photos, but he even sent some video. It's nice to see I wasn't the only person who had a ton of knockouts against Nameless Thanos. Some people think this is the easiest fight of all time, and I tip my cap to them, but not for me. Alright, so we've got this Nameless Thanos fight. I guess I'll hide my webcam to show you the full power breakdown for both sides. You can see the evades happening, and you basically have, Apocalypse not working as intended. Now, that's not to say he can't do a good amount of damage, which is what you're seeing in this video. But it is definitely not what you want to see. Thank God for the regen to come back, though, when he's almost degen to death. Alright, so continues to attempt to dex. Gets knocked out. That part's not, again, entirely surprising, or that part doesn't mean that he is bugged by any means. By the way, you can see the 38 level 2 revives in his overflow. Again, great excuse to use them. I'm not saying your account's going to be changed forever based off of the rewards, because it won't. But at least you'll be able to put them to good use. I think definitely in terms of rewards, better than the Thronebreaker event quest difficulty right now. Alright, so weakness, poison, getting wrecked, degenning down. And that's the problem with not healing up all the way, is you just get knocked out. So You might think that that's proof he's bugged. You might think it's not. You've got the bleeds. And I just want to read, in general, what a couple of summoners who sent video or feedback. He says, Apocalypse seems to be broken. He no longer carries evade charges across fights. Immunities are not reapplying, including the evade charges. And he kept bleeding Apocalypse each time he brought him in for the 95% to 65% health section. And this was actually a photo from August with the last, the last gauntlet attempt for this summer. So, I don't know. I feel like every time I have these conversations, I think, man, I didn't know as much about Apocalypse as I thought I did. So, have you noticed that he's bugged at all, or do you think this is an overreaction? Sometimes we've seen overreactions, and sometimes we've seen legitimate bugs, and again, sometimes the truth is somewhere in between. Either way, thank you for the feedback for those of you that have sent along, and please keep me updated in the comments of what you think is, well, the truth behind Apocalypse and the new patch bugs.